Hi everyone, Susie here from Minnesota, and I garden in Zone 4, and it is time for the April tour. It's the end of April, and I thought I would get one in. These are my tulips. If you're new to my channel, this was just an existing bed. That's why there's a line here, and then I extended that last year. They look really good. Things have just not been growing at a fast pace here. The weather has been so up and down in temps. So no blooms yet. But it is Minnesota. And this is the front of the house. So all of this is new where you see. So I need to start figuring out what I want to plant here. Finally the sun. The sun has not been out in, feels like weeks. Some heuchera down there, along with some columbine. That looks really good. I did not plant that one. The birds helped me out with that one. This is Allium. Hostas are just emerging in most of my gardens, just very little like that. But the temps now look to be really nice coming up. The lows stay above freezing. These little pink plants here, that will be Solomon seal. They are all over in here, and I absolutely love Solomon seal. That is Lady's Mantle down here that I moved close to the end of the season, so it's just little, but I'm just glad it came back. We had gotten some rain overnight. If you can see the dewdrops on those leaves. More heuchera. This one looks really good. This is Snow on the Mountain. Very invasive. I'm hoping it stays where it's at. I have to keep on top of this so it doesn't start going into this garden here. This is just a native honeysuckle bush. It is also invasive, so I have to maintain that one also. The hostas here are coming up a little bit more because this is the south side of the house and very warm. This one here is called king size hosta. That one looks amazing. I have plans for this area too, so I'm not sure which hostas are going to stay where they're at and which ones will be moved forward a little bit. I did move my winter sowing jugs over here just because it gets the most sun right now over here. There's no leaves on my trees and it's nice and warm. Hopefully that kind of helps things. Once the trees leaf out, this is the shadiest spot. Can you see all of this digging? That's what squirrels do. They are what I deal with the most in my gardens. This is Brennera, or Brennera, however you want to pronounce it. This is so pretty. Very happy to see this one this size. Last year it was a little small. This one's really nice. It has flowers forming or almost ready to open. Absolutely love this perennial. And it's a beautiful blue color. Can't wait to get that on the next tour. I think it's April 28th. Can't believe it's the end of April already. That's crazy. Right here is goat's beard. And this is also in a protected location by the house, so that's why there's a lot more growth here. Some in substance. What can I say? If you've been following me, you know I love my Some in Substance hostas. So, let me get my shadow out of the way. I had moved this bleeding heart from another place, and I put it here. We had a night where it got to 25 degrees, and I didn't cover it, but I came out and all of the branches were kind of bent, so I broke my bleeding heart. It's okay. I mean, there's still some blooms on it, but probably should have covered that one. Everything else pulled through, but this is a huge clump of Some in Substance. This is where I usually have my rain barrel, so I need to get that set up, and I think I might position another one over here. We were so dry last year, so I just kind of utilize what I can. And oh, those squirrels, more digging down here. That's what I've been dealing with. So these are tulips that I had planted in this pot, I want to say in October, November, and this stayed out all winter, and they came back. No flowers yet, so I can't wait. Hopefully, as long as the squirrels stop digging in them. So there's not a whole lot of growth, but I mean there's still some stuff to see in this, but like I said, with warmer temps coming, I can't wait to show you the progress of everything, because it is amazing once those warm temps come how fast things grow. This is sweet woodruff. This is a nice ground cover, really like it. I want to say it's delicate, so it definitely isn't going to compete with other ground covers. And this is where I moved a lot of the Solomon seal too, so that's the pink. If you want to say tips coming up, growth. Just a few hostas in here. This is a colder area because you can see it's quite shady, except for on the edges here. I've been kind of moving pots around, seeing where I like stuff. I kind of stage my pots and not cutting back, but just figuring things out. This ground cover here, this is a type of Allium, but it's Lamia strum, and it's hardy down to a zone 2. This is very invasive, very invasive. And this was just a trailer that I put in a pot one year. Didn't realize that it was a perennial, and a little piece rooted, and this is what happened. I think it's pretty though, because I love the way that it looks with my bench, but I just have to keep on top of that also. The birds are crazy. Those are just daylilies coming up there. And this is definitely going to be a year where I really think about what I want to keep in my gardens, what makes me really happy, and which ones are just kind of holding a spot, because I like them, but I'm thinking I might try something else. I don't know. Lots of plans for this year, but we'll see if I get to some of them. This lady's mantle is a nice clump. My pagoda dogwood tree. I love this tree. Absolutely love it. Slow grower though. It's kind of hard to see the color. Just starting. Down here is pulmonaria, and I prefer to call it pulmonaria because the common name is lungwort, and I think that's a horrible name, but I think pulmonaria is just so pretty. Lots of blooms on it, not opened yet. Huge clump of hardy geranium down here. Looking good, along with some daylilies. Around my kennel, I'm just keeping it quite simple. Maybe one year I might change it up, but for now it's just repeat plantings of daylilies and hardy geraniums. Of course, lady's mantle, Alchemilla mollis. And isn't that so pretty? Just shines. The water droplets. And I have some weeding to do. Oh, kind of past this up here. These are just tulips I planted in these pots, and I put them in my storage unit, which is not heated. And we'll see if they amount to anything. And in this one too. Right down here is a daylily, and then Sabaria cervifolia sem, which is all over in here. That is, if you want to say, the mother plant that I hacked off in one of my previous videos. But all in all, I think everything's doing pretty good. This daylily here, I would like to move, but amongst everything in here, I have a huge tree root that I don't know how I'm going to get out. That's going to take a lot of digging. Just a little squish there. The sedums look fantastic. I love that new growth, how tight it is. And sorry, I strayed a little bit because every time I start a video, there's a big construction project going up about a block away, and then of course, power tools. This is primrose all over down here, and I do let it go out of bounds because I absolutely love this plant, and it's easy to control. Very shallow root systems, that's why I like it. This is a daffodil here. Beautiful foliage, lots of growth, and no blooms on this one. And then over here, look, not a whole lot of foliage, but I do have blooms. It is lovely. Maybe that one's just planted too deep or too shallow. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. They are so lovely. these are just hens and chicks. Again, lots of weeding to do in here, and this is a daylily. Again, like I said, I might be changing some things up, but this garden kind of looks a mess right now because you can't see a whole lot because of the creeping Jenny, but back here, these are giant alliums. Looking pretty good. The ligularia down here, that purple foliage is just so striking. So it does look really nice with that, the creeping Jenny, that color. So we'll see. I might just keep pulling the creeping Jenny away from the plants and letting it kind of carpet. There's a lot in this garden, so like still has to come up. One of the things I do want to do is I have Joe Pye weed on this side and this side, and this one has always been a weak. So I don't know if it's the plant or the area. So I will want to dig that out at some point, and I'll put something else there. I'm going to go to the back of the garden quick. Just show you this. These are some more tulips. Can't wait. Sorry, I kind of strayed to see if I can see any heads forming, and lots of foliage. Those two little blooms on the daffodils just make me so happy. It's just after a winter, and then you see that vibrant color. That's why I can't wait for the tulips. I don't have deer issues. That's not anything that I have to deal with in my garden. Biggest thing are squirrels and rabbits. And right now, birds. They kind of throw the mulch all about, which is fine. I just sweep it back in. Let's see here. If you can see the clematis here with all that growth. This is the one that I cut down to about a foot. This is group 3 clematis. My shadow. I have an astilbe down here, which is an amazing clump of it. And I think I'm going to move this somewhere to the front so it can be seen. It looks good back here, but I can't really see it, so I like to put it where I can enjoy it. This grass here I moved from a different area, and last year I forgot about it and didn't water it, and I think it's doing pretty good. I think it's called tall moor grass, M-O-O-R, but I don't know for sure. This peony here is doing good. And then all over in this garden, even outside of it, let's see. If you see the red stems there, this is Queen of the Prairie Filipendula. And it just kind of goes all over the place, but I really like it. Kind of let this area do what it wants, kind of let every area do what it wants to do. Helps fill in those gaps. This is a bleeding heart that split from the other one when I moved it, so that one's a little more protected by the pine tree. Things just grow a little bit slower back here, and I think it's just the competition of the pine. But the honeysuckle here is amazing, because last year what happened is all of the growth, I don't know if it was my winter that did it or if it was the rabbits that came and chewed it off. So all I was left with was this one thick stalk here, which is still there. It's massive, but it didn't happen this year. So I have growth on all over. This is so pretty. I can't wait. Cleaned out all of my bird houses, and I've seen birds going in and out, so it's really neat. It's one thing I want to add some more of. This hosta down here might be ready for some division, because you can see how my shadows there, where it just kind of makes, I don't know, kind of looks like a half moon, and there's nothing in the center. I'll have to think on that. The giant fleece flowers down here coming up. I don't know, there's no good spot for my shadow, right? It should stay behind me. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this, if I want to split some, because last year I found that, well, this just gets massive. If you've seen some of my tours, but it's getting, sorry about that noise. This is just getting so big that it's, the tree here, they're kind of butting up against each other. It's not bad, but if I had to pick, I really love the pagoda dogwood. It's a mess, I'm not gonna lie. This is end of April. I'm still getting things cleaned up and figuring out what I want to do with everything. My waste site is very inconvenient for me because it's open Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's usually when I work. So we'll see. So let's see. Well, over here, this is an Ito peony. This is definitely one-eyed baby. It was very, very expensive. This is a penstemon. Look at that foliage. Isn't that pretty? Really in love with that. But I love foliage on plants. Sorry, that's not awesome noise for a tour, is it? These are purple sensation alliums that I can't wait to see them bloom. So happy with that. Another daylily. I have yarrow planted in here, and I'm very happy with this. This is another geranium. Is it Midnight Ghost? I thought I lost one due to a squirrel digging, but all three did come back up, so very pleased by that. It was something I did in late season last year. This pot of tulips looks fantastic. I have two types of clematis growing down here. This is Nellie Moser that's coming up pretty strongly. And then I have one just over there, if you can see by that leaf, just a little green tip, and it's called Princess Kate. So I got that. Both these were late in the season last year, so we'll see if they amount to anything this year. Just happy to see green growth. More tulips. Lamb's ears look really great. This is a fern leaf peony. A friend gave this to me, both of them. these tulips look really good. I'm hoping maybe 2 weeks I'll give them to start blooming. Yeah, I went a little overboard on tulips, but last year my gardens were lacking that spring color. You can see all my roses here leafing out really nicely. This is my tree peony. This is the first year that it's done this though, where it's sent off shoots like that. So this is what this garden looks like now. I know in a week it's gonna look completely different, so I can't wait. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do weekly tours but a lot can change in a week, so we'll see. So hopefully you enjoyed this April tour, and bye for now.